Students in Clark Shawnee local schools getting an extra day of winter break today. The district says it was forced to shut its doors because it didn't have enough bus drivers to get kids to and from class today. So Gwyneth Falloon is live in Springfield tonight. Gwen, you told me earlier the district is fully staffed on drivers. What happened?
On a normal day when everyone is healthy, that's correct, Adam. However, Superintendent Brian Kuhn, he tells me that 4 of the district's 19 full-time bus drivers called out sick or injured overnight. That's just over a fifth of their drivers. But Kuhn says that's when the trouble actually starts, and that's because of the lack of substitute drivers,
Our substitute list is very short. Our most utilized subs, we have 2. But they are internal employees of the district who we pull from other jobs to help us out with transportation when their schedule allows. And that creates, again, other issues where we might need to backfill those folks.
All right, so what comes next for the district? Are they closed again tomorrow?
No, Adam, students, they will actually be returning to the classroom tomorrow. When I spoke with the superintendent earlier, he told me that they were looking at all options. Now, they have adjusted pickup times as well as combined some of the routes to accommodate those absent. Now, the district did post instructions and times for when students will be picked up tomorrow morning. That's both on their Facebook and their district website. You can find that information. We have linked it in the web version of this story at Dayton247now.com. But coming up here in a few minutes at 6:30 on Fox 45, we're going to actually take a look at some of the obstacles that these districts are facing when it comes to staffing their buses. Back to you.
We have an update now to our crisis in the classroom investigation out of Dayton Public Schools. The interim superintendent telling us tonight that the district will be changing the way it addresses people who violate DPS policies moving forward. Now, this is related to that alleged bus driver assault that happened 2 weeks ago. The district says in the past it issued trespass notices and only involved police for any subsequent violations. But moving forward, it'll immediately file criminal charges and involve the police for any policy violations. The district gives these examples: a community member boarding a bus without authorization, threatening an employee, or being on district property without permission. The district says, quote, this proactive change aims to enhance the safety and security of all DPS employees with a focus on safeguarding bus drivers. Any behavior that jeopardizes the safety and well-being of DPS employees will not be tolerated. We'd like to thank all who have shown support for the bus driver involved in last month's incident, and we continue to wish her well as she recovers. The Ohio State Highway Patrol has released its report on the deadly head-on crash involving a Preble County deputy. Now, this happened early in the morning back on December 18th. The crash killed Deputy Joshua Hamilton and 36-year-old Michael Gayhart II. In the report, investigators say Deputy Hamilton's vehicle went left of center, striking Gayhart's head-on. Both men were killed. Investigators say Hamilton was pursuing another vehicle for speeding when that crash happened. The investigation is still ongoing. Well, we now know what's going to happen to the former Golden Nugget Pancake House on South Dixie Drive in Kettering. Wind Supply bought that building back in October, you may remember. And now the Blueberry Cafe in Bellbrook will open a location there in the coming month. Just yesterday, the owners of Blueberry Cafe announced they'd close their current location in Bellbrook Plaza and relocate within Bellbrook. The cafe is expected to keep serving its original meals, including big as your plate pancakes, made-to-order omelets, and signature muffins. Now, Wind Supply says, quote, their reputation for excellent food and service precedes them, and we couldn't be more thrilled about what this means for our neighborhood. Blueberry Cafe's owner saying, quote, our passion is bringing people together over great meals, creating a space where the community feels safe and feels at home, and we're excited to maintain our presence in Bellbrook while embarking on this new journey in Kettering. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam outside of Beaver Creek tonight. Let's check in with Tim, who's in for Natalie tonight.
All right, welcome out to the Watson's weather patio this evening. It is a bitterly cold night right now. We did have cold front push through the area. We could see a few stray flurries this evening, but most of us just staying dry. Temperatures right now right around 33 degrees in Dayton, 32 as you head out towards Richmond and over towards Greenville. 25 is what it feels like, though. There is a bit of a breeze right now, so 25-degree wind chill in Dayton, 26 out towards Greenville and Richmond, and 34 as you head down towards Wilmington. The next couple of days we'll have temperatures in the low to mid 30s. It's going to be a really chilly into our weekend. And as we head into our weekend, we'll see temperatures hovering right around that upper 30 to 40 degree mark.
Tim, thanks. Former President Trump has now formally appealed Colorado's primary ballot ban to the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, Colorado just the first state in the U.S. to use the 14th Amendment to take the former president off the 2024 primary after his actions on January 6th. That amendment bans insurrectionists from holding office. Trump's team argues that his eligibility should be determined by Congress, not the states, and that the Colorado Supreme Court was wrong when it ruled that an insurrection happened on January 6th and that Trump engaged in it. Police have now identified the two people killed outside the Kodak Theater in Rochester, New York, after midnight on New Year's Eve. 28-year-old Justina Hughes and 29-year-old Joshua Orr were riding in the back of an Uber when their car was hit by another car. 36-year-old Michael Avery was driving that other car, a rental SUV filled with gas canisters. Avery died. The crash pushed both vehicles into a crowd as about 1,000 people were leaving the theater after a concert. 9 pedestrians were hurt, and the Uber driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Rochester police have not found any evidence the driver acted on any political or social issues. A live look now at the U.S. Capitol building tonight, where House Republicans are moving forward with steps to impeach President Biden's Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Now, this comes after the House voted in November to refer a solution to impeach him to the Homeland Security Committee. Since retaking the House majority, Republicans have long sought to impeach Mayorkas over his handling of immigration at the border. Now, House Speaker Mike Johnson and more than 60 Republicans took a tour of the border today after record-breaking crossings in the past month. Mayorkas says they'll see the problems he's been talking about.
When they're at the border, they're going to see the magnitude of the problem and why we have said now for about 3 decades that our broken immigration system is in desperate need of legislative reform. So we are focused on solutions, and we hope that they will return to Washington and focus on the solutions as well.
A Homeland Security Committee spokesperson says impeachment hearings will start next week. It's now been nearly a year since a Norfolk Southern freight train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, causing a massive toxic chemical spill and fire. The cleanup is ongoing, and people there are still worried about their health. James Pilcher spoke to the governor about his efforts.
Governor Mike DeWine was front and center in the days following that massive train derailment in February 2023 and has repeatedly stated Norfolk Southern needs to be held accountable and held responsible for the damage caused by the chemical spill and fire. This week he told me the railroad wasn't completely forthright in the days following the accident, but got better in the weeks after and has been a reliable partner since. Still, DeWine says this is a long-term issue.
So it's something that we're going to continue to monitor. It was their train, it was their wreck, it was their responsibility. They did it. No one else is at fault but Norfolk Southern.
DeWine says the biggest concern now is for the long-term health of residents who may have been exposed to the chemicals, and the state is keeping a clinic open in East Palestine for as long as it takes.
If you talk to people in East Palestine, their biggest concern is health long range. They'll tell me, look, I feel okay, my kids feel okay, but I'm worried, what's the impact in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years out?
That was James Pilcher reporting. Well, today the Dayton Food Bank held its first drive-through food distribution of the new year. It was open to the public. Anyone was welcome to come get what they need. The food bank says in the colder months, people see a rise in bills from heating costs. Young kids are home on break, of course, so they can't get food at school, and people may be getting sick. All of this means there's less money to put food on the table.
Usually as we head into the January, February, and even the extended months of March and April, when we all just wish winter would get away, we have a larger need.
Now, the food bank and other food pantries help people in need all over the Miami Valley all year round. So you can find help at the organization's website, thefoodbankdayton.org. They hold a drive-through food distribution every Wednesday at their Armour Place location from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. There are also mobile pantries and a senior box program. And if you are able to give money, food, or your time, head to that website to learn how you can help. A museum in the tri-state area educating on the dangers of anti-Semitism, how cases of Jewish hate are skyrocketing, and Islamophobic incidents too as a result of the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. Also, more dismembered body parts found in the same area near Cincinnati, how the FBI's renewed search efforts led the charge, and what we know about who they belong to.
And coming up, we're going to take a look at what we're expecting this weekend, a chance for rain and snow showers in your full forecast. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Freezing fog along Montana's Bitterroot River lets visitors know winter has indeed arrived, while the Missoula Valley is hidden under a thick layer of fog. This is caused by a valley inversion when overnight cold air flows down the slopes to the bottom with warm air on top. And check out Anchorage's 25-foot-tall Snowzilla. This year's record snowfall made him a bit easier to build.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
A renewed search effort has now turned up new clues from where a dismembered female body was found near Cincinnati back in November. The FBI was brought in to recheck the woods where she was found, and today they discovered more body parts in the same area of North Fairmont. Now, Cincinnati police and the FBI search team used cadaver dogs and rakes to turn up dirt. Who is this woman and where is she from is all still a mystery. Missing persons connections locally turned up nothing so far.
We have not found any links or associations, and we've looked in the region as well. We're working with the Federal Bureau of Investigations again to look at links of cases that might be similar.
The Hamilton County coroner said they don't know if the remains belong to the same woman yet. Investigators are not yet saying how she died. All right, we'll take a look at this. Great shot of a bald eagle in Dayton today. The bird sitting in the Great Miami River right there by the train tracks. And it is odd, Tim, as we go to weather now, to have January be here and not even a snowflake.
Yeah, not many, but
Nothing.
we're watching it though.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of this weekend.
I've heard a rumor.
Everyone's talking about it.
Everybody, especially meteorologists.
Yeah, it's big news all over social media.
Okay.
But we're going to take a look at that in a moment. Right now, a live shot of the satellite and radar showing those clouds did move in. We could see a few flurries tonight, but really not expecting a whole lot. Those clouds will clear out. Now, the system that we are watching for the weekend that I'm sure you've heard about is this low pressure right here spinning off in the west coast right now, dropping some snow and rain in the Rockies. That will move across the country, and the path of this system is really what's important here. Originally, it was looking like Route 1 right here, which would have been the best chance for some heavier snow. Things have started to shift east a little bit though, so with a further shift east, we would see lower amounts of snow, and even today we're seeing an even further shift east. So tomorrow we'll get more data and we'll be able to hone that path in just a little bit more.
Iran is observing a national day of mourning after 2 explosions killed at least 95 people in the city of Kerman. At least 211 people were hurt. Happened during a commemoration ceremony near the burial site of an Iran military commander killed by a U.S. airstrike 4 years ago. Now, he was one of Iran's most powerful men, heading a branch of Iran's military that handles overseas operations. The U.S. has deemed it a foreign terrorist organization. That's the moment the explosion happened. According to Iran state media, the first explosion came from a suitcase bomb. Iran's interior minister says the second one happened when people came to help those hurt in the first bomb. That's when most of the people died and were hurt. The U.S. State Department says there's no indication that Israel was responsible for that attack. An imam has died outside after being shot outside of a mosque in Newark, New Jersey today. Imam Hassan Sharif was shot during pre-dawn prayers. An imam is a person who leads prayers in a mosque. The motive for that shooting is still unclear, an investigation happening now, but right now, the state attorney general says nothing suggests the crime was motivated by bias. The Council on American Islamic Relations is advising, though, all mosques keep their doors open but remain cautious. Also, a vigil in Chicago today to honor a 6-year-old Palestinian-American child killed in an apparent hate crime. The memorial service happened right before the boy's accused killer went to court. Police say Wadia Al-Fayoumi and his mother were attacked by their landlord, 71-year-old Joseph Chuba, in October. The boy was killed from multiple stab wounds, his mother seriously injured. Investigators say Chuba targeted them because they are Muslim and as a response to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. The boy's father speaking with reporters today.
My son was a victim not only of violence but also of prejudice and hatred. He was targeted because of his faith, because he was Muslim. And that is something we must confront as a society. Islamophobia and hatred toward Muslims and Palestinians has no place in our community.
Now, Chuba faces several charges. That includes first-degree murder and hate crimes. He's pleaded not guilty. As America sees a rise in Islamophobia, there's also been a sharp rise in anti-Semitism. Chloe Markley was at Union Terminal in Cincinnati, where a conference was held to educate people on the dangers of Jewish hate.
Anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. have reached the highest number of incidents during any 2-month period. That's since tracking began in 1979. And a recent survey shows 1 in 5 people believe the Holocaust didn't happen. We're seeing that anti-Semitism right here locally. It has been seen in schools, restaurants, and streets. The center has seen anti-Semitic comments on their site and social media pages. People claiming the Holocaust was fabricated. That's why the center finds it necessary to host this conference today. The center says as much as people can learn to be hateful, they can learn to be tolerant.
We feel strongly here at the center that the best way to address these things is to double down in our efforts to educate the community. In moments of scarcity, in moments when people are sort of responding defensively and, leaning into hateful rhetoric, we have to make sure that people are educated in what they're saying and the dangers of these words.
That was Chloe Markley reporting. If you drive a Ford pickup truck, listen up. Ford is recalling more than 112,000 F-150 pickup trucks due to a rollaway risk. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says a rear axle hub bolt in some of the vehicles could break. Now, that recall includes F-150s from 2021 through 2023 and are equipped with the trailer tow max duty package. Now, Ford is working on a fix here. The The company says drivers who hear a clicking or rattling noise should take their vehicle to a dealership. Well, we have our results for yesterday's question of the day. We asked, do you agree with Harvard's president's decision to resign amidst plagiarism and anti-Semitism allegations? 91% of you saying yes, 9% saying no. For today's question of the day, do you agree with Harvard's decision to retain Claudine Gay as a professor with a $900,000 salary a year? You can let us know by voting under this poll at Dayton247now.com. You can find it under the question of the day heading in the news tab. We'll have the results for you tomorrow.
All right, taking a look at the futurecast here, you can see over the next 24 to 48 hours. Again, tonight we'll have some heavy cloud cover. We could see a few flurries across the region, but other than that, just cloudy conditions. Moving into Thursday by lunchtime, clear skies, looking like a really nice day for you. A little cold, though. You'll definitely want to have a jacket on. Temperatures only forecasted to get up into the mid-30s with a little bit of a breeze, so it will feel a bit colder as well. And as we head in towards Friday morning, we'll have some high cloud cover across the region, and that will continue to build through the day ahead of our next weather maker, which will start arriving overnight Friday and into the morning on Saturday.
If you've ever wanted to pick up pickleball, there's a new opportunity happening this week to teach you how it's done, how this clinic for beginners can help get you started. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
the Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Are you starting strong with those New Year's resolutions? Well, if picking up a new hobby is on that list, Alex King has just the one for you, and this opportunity comes with a teacher.
Pickleball is that perfect mixture of fun and a little bit of activity, physical activity. You can get some exercise in. And this is a perfect opportunity for beginners. This is a pickleball clinic for beginners. They're asking, are you ready to start your pickleball journey? The beginner clinics are the perfect opportunity to learn the game from the dynamic duo of instructors. You can join them for a fun-filled session where you'll learn the basics of the game. And if you're interested in signing up, this is going to be this Friday, January 5th from 6 to 7:30 at the Dayton Sports Complex. You can just head to Ali and Ike Adventures on Facebook. And then here on this post, you can click their Google Docs sign-up sheet, and that will take you to the form. It's $35 per player, a nice and easy form to fill out to get you excited for the new year and your new hobby. Back to you guys.
Alrighty, now look at your 7-day forecast here. A nice ending to your week here. Now Thursday and Friday, a little bit colder, 34 and 37. More sun than clouds on Thursday. Those clouds will start building back in Friday ahead of that chance for some snow on Saturday. Arrival time of this system is really what's important. A system that arrives in the overnight hours Friday and the early morning on Saturday would lead to a more all snow event with colder temperatures. But if we can get some of that snow to linger through the rest of the day, we could see a transition to a rain, snow, or just all out rain with